Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu unserem zweiten Livestream von der Messe. Wir sind zu Gast bei Cirrus Aircraft und wie ihr schon gemerkt habt, wir sind ein bisschen verspätet. Wir hatten erheblichen Technik-Trouble. Bitte sehr um Verständnis und Entschuldigung dafür. Tut mir sehr leid. Aber jetzt freue ich mich sehr, hier zu sitzen mit zwei Amerikanern, die nur Englisch sprechen und deswegen wechsle ich jetzt in diese Sprache. Here with me are Ivy McIver, Director Product Line SR, and Matt Bergwall, Director Product Line VisionJet. Thanks, guys, for being with me.
Thank you.
So, Ivy, you didn't bring the plane that I really wanted to see.
Which plane was it that you really wanted to see?
Well, I wanted to see an SR-22 with that new color you have that you call Himalayan salt and everyone else calls
Himalayan
pink.
Yes, we left that one in the States, but we did bring a beautiful Baja and Sterling SR-22T, and that is on our stand today.
And Baja and Sterling, if I'm looking over there, that is greenish, turquoise, something like that.
It's
beautiful.
Like the water in the Caribbean.
There you go. Yeah. How did you come up with Himalayan salt, I have to ask?
So the Himalayan salt was actually inspired by a Porsche color called Frozen Berry.
Okay.
And Porsche debuted their Porsche Taycan car with the color of Frozen Berry, and we really thought that it would look pretty stunning on an airplane.
Yeah,
so we decided to incorporate that into our special edition, and it's been really well received.
Yeah, I mean, pink. I mean, what could be better, right? No, seriously, I mean, I think it has a huge appeal, especially to those who really make the buying decision in the families, right?
Yeah, it really, it's been really well received by a wide variety of people, I would say. And I think really, while not everyone loves the pink airplane, it gives people a little bit of permission to go outside the comfort zone. So if you see all of the planes are blue or red or white, it sort of dictates that you need to stay in a bit of a comfort zone. So when you see planes that are orange and you see planes that are pink or even a Baja, it gets people's minds thinking and sort of inspires them to realize that their plane doesn't have to be a in-the-box color.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a conservative color. Right. It can be out there, and other people are choosing kind of fringe colors.
Right.
So they can decide, I want a pink airplane.
I mean, we've really come a long, long way from white airplane with a few stripes on it, right?
Yeah. It used to be that all of the airplanes could be anything you wanted as long as they were white.
Yeah,
so we've definitely come a long way.
Right. So you introduced those new colors with the 22 models, which you don't call a new generation.
Right.
But you still have several other improvements that you made to the airplane.
We sure do. So the model year 22, we introduced a lot of convenience options, as well as a lot of aesthetics upgrades. So on the aesthetic portion, we did reformulate the paint system, and our paint is actually a little bit richer, a little bit brighter, a little bit deeper, and you'll see that across the entire color spectrum. And that reformulation allowed us to introduce some new colors, like a really deep Evolution Red, and of course the Himalayan Salt.
Yes.
We've also decoupled the interiors from the exteriors, so you can choose your interior being a color of leather. You can decide whether you want the insets with Alcantara or the insets with the matching leather. And then once you've chosen your interior, you can choose your exterior completely independent of the interior. As far as features, from a convenience standpoint, on the inside there is now 2 USB-C and 2 USB-A ports. And the USB-C port is high speed, so you can charge laptops and iPads and tablets and things like that.
And the cigarette lighter adapter is gone for good?
That is gone, yes. The cigarette lighter, as well as the handheld microphone, those are things of the past.
Handheld microphone even?
Yes,
Okay.
so we don't need that anymore.
So what's your backup option there?
So actually, from a certification standpoint, we don't need that because there's so much redundancy in the electrical system and in the avionics system that...
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so it's
cool.
a lot simpler. There's a little more space, and obviously it's a lot more modern.
Right.
From the exterior, from a convenience standpoint, we've transformed the steps. So we've incorporated the spectral lighting into the steps, and there's a end cap with a Cirrus logo, and it's all illuminated. There's a light on top of the step, and then the Cirrus logo is projected on the ramp. So it really has a stunning ramp appeal, as well as lighting up the ramp around the step for flying at night.
Yeah.
And then the baggage door has become a lot more usable. So the interior panel on the baggage door, the pocket's been expanded, so you can put cans of oil in there.
Right.
And the opening mechanism is actually a strut that holds the door open.
So it don't fall down
Right,
on you
it
all
doesn't
the time.
flop around in the wind,
Mm-hmm.
and it opens just past 90 degrees, so a wider opening area
Right.
to load your luggage.
Right.
And then it is also now keyless, so the key fob unlocks both the door and the baggage
Right.
compartment, and once it's unlocked, you just hit a button and the door
Nice.
glides open and allows you to get in there and load all your baggage. Now, from a speed and performance perspective,
That's what I wanted to get to.
yeah,
yes.
we've also focused on drag reduction.
Mm-hmm.
So we've changed the seam between the no-nice panels and the paint on both the wing and the horizontal stabilizer.
Right.
That has reduced our drag a tremendous amount. And then we've redesigned the wheel pants. So the wheel pants have tighter tolerance around the tire and also more aerodynamic shape in the front. And that has led to about up to 9 knots of speed difference. Now, I was flying, the plane that we have out on the ramp today
Right.
is a Zanzibar plane. It's orange. And that plane, I was able to fly around the Bahamas with about 5 other G6s. And I was constantly having to pull that throttle
Really?
back because
Wow.
I was about 10 knots faster than the other planes on that
Okay.
trip.
Now, if you want to buy one, how long do you have to wait?
So the wait time is about 12 to 18 months, depending
Wow.
on what model and what configuration. So we're a little ways out, kind of into the later half of
Is
2023.
that due to demand, or is it due to the supply chain being difficult at the moment?
Primarily demand,
Yeah,
actually.
really?
So
Wow.
we are seeing a tremendous order rate. It's actually an order rate approximately double of the order rate that we were seeing in all of 2021 year to date for 2022. Demand is extremely high, and we are focusing on trying to ramp up production and try to satisfy that demand. But there are some supply chain issues, and we certainly want to make sure that our production line is stable. So we're ramping up, not as quickly as I would like, but we are ramping up to satisfy that demand. But there's a lot more people that want airplanes than we can make airplanes to deliver to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
which
so-
is good for everyone. It's very good for general aviation to see that demand
definitely,
so high.
yes. True, yeah. Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah.
So how important is the European and then the German market for Cirrus?
Oh, great question. So in 2021, we saw roughly a quarter of our orders come from outside the U.S.
Wow,
So,
quarter.
Yep,
Yeah, so
roughly about 25% of the orders come in from outside the U.S. So, yeah, extremely important to us.
Yeah, well, that's big. Yeah. Do you have any idea how many Cirruses there are registered in Germany? Like
Oh,
ballpark?
that's a stumper question. I don't have actually any idea.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, yeah. But looking at the ramp out here in Friedrichshafen when I arrived yesterday, I was surprised by the amount of Cirruses that you could see out there.
Yeah, I would say that it would be a challenge to go to a reasonably busy airport in Germany and not see a Cirrus.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You do have a perfect step-up airplane. So
Yes, we sure do. So one other thing that I wanted to say
Yes.
kind of about the orders,
Yes.
in addition to them being very high, a very high percentage of those orders are coming from people who are brand new to aviation. So
Really?
roughly 40% of the orders that we're seeing are coming in from outside of aviation, people brand new, their first airplane, they're not pilots,
Right.
they're getting into aviation for the first time. So we're bringing people into aviation, and then a lot of the orders that we're seeing for the Vision Jet are actually coming from the SR side.
I see.
So we have a perfect
Yeah.
kind of ramp into general aviation and then ramp up.
Up into the jet. Matt,
Yeah.
that's your
Yeah.
your area of expertise. So what role does the jet play in Germany and in Europe? Is it, can you register it as an EASA aircraft, or is it always US registered?
So for the jet, we have about 350 flying around the world right now.
Right.
About 35 to 40 are right now in Europe. And then probably about a half dozen or so are in Germany and registered. Some are registered with Germany, some are registered as well.
So it is EASA certified, so you could, yeah.
Yep.
Is there an EASA type rating as well, or do you fly it with the US type rating?
There's
how
an
does that
EASA
work?
type rating as well. Yes.
I see, yes. And then obviously there's different, pros and cons to doing it with an N registration or with a German registration, right? So you said about half a dozen in Germany.
Yes.
Right. Is that about as much as you expected, or is that kind of more or less, or how does that
It's kind of
work out?
as expected. With that being said, we see potential and to even increase those numbers more, and we want to get more Vision Jets in Europe in general.
Right. Now, before you started delivering, you had a backlog of about 600 or so.
Yep.
Are you still working that backlog, or?
Yeah, we still have a backlog. We're still seeing tremendous demand. Some of our customers, if you get an end of the line position, you're actually looking to deliver in about 2026. But if there is opportunities too, if somebody does want a Vision Jet a little bit sooner, we have demonstration airplanes and customers who a lot of times
you might not be able to configure it exactly the way you want it, but then there's options. I see. Yep. Yeah. So what do people use it for in Europe specifically?
It's a combination of personal travel, business travel. I mean, it's pretty much the same way they use their SRs.
Yes.
So it's owner flown, personally flown. And I mean, they're using it for their personal lives, business lives. That's how they operate their airplane.
What would you say? I mean, why should someone get a Vision Jet rather than something of comparable size, maybe with a different mode of propulsion? I'm thinking turboprop or whatever. What are your key selling points?
So the interesting thing is I was saying there's 40% of the orders last year were people new to aviation.
Right.
We love seeing that, especially on the Vision Jet product line.
Right.
The main reason why, 75 to 80% of our customers at one time owned an SR.
I see.
It just becomes the perfect step-up airplane. They learn how to fly in an SR, they use it for many years, and then they'll come into the Vision Jet when they're just looking to carry a little bit more people, when they were looking to go a little bit faster. It's just the perfect step-up airplane for our SR customer base.
So to do the type rating, do you still have to go to the US exclusively, or is that done in Europe as well?
We do have a location in Europe, and the US is an option too.
Right.
So it's
okay. And then you can obviously choose whether it's an EASA type rating or a US type rating. Right. Yeah. So I've lost track here. I wanted to ask you something. What was it? Oh yeah, so that goes back to the SR as well. Do people buy the the top-notch model, fully equipped with everything primarily, or do they do the lower end things? What happened to the SR20 with the new engine and all that?
Sure, yeah, great question. So on the 22T piece of the product line, the large majority, over 95%, check every box. So it's top of the line, everything fully equipped.
Right.
On the 22 and on the 20, a large number of orders are still opting for that top of the line product, but it's a little bit more skewed towards a more balanced approach to the configuration. So on the flight training side, actually a lot of the flight training airplanes are towards the premium side and very well equipped with things like onboard weather and the larger screens and things like that. Things like flight into known ice aren't available on the 20, so by default, there's some things that are not on the price list. And I'd say in the 22, probably about 60% of the orders are for a fully loaded plane, and then the rest are kind of a mid-spec.
I see.
Yeah.
So one of the unique things about the jet, Matt, is that it has a parachute.
Yes.
But there hasn't been a deployment yet, right?
No, there has not.
Okay. Good thing, though. In a way, good thing, but yeah. But it works pretty much the same way it does in the SR, right?
Yep. Generally speaking, if you do have something that happens where the only option is to pull the parachute, you pull the parachute, and it will bring the Vision Jet to the ground.
But you also have auto land, obviously, which
Correct.
we reported on. So passengers have that option to press the button if something happens to the pilot or so.
Yep. In 2020, we did announce we'll have what we call safe return that's available on the Vision Jet. So if anything ever does happen to the pilot, the passengers, and whether sitting in the co-pilot seat or in the back of the airplane, can press a button and the plane will automatically land itself.
Nice. All right. Is that coming to the SR at any time?
I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you.
All right. Okay, we don't want that. And on that happy note, thank you for having us and for talking to us, and have a great show.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you very much,
Matt
and Ivy. Thank you. Matt Bergwall and Ivy MacIver from Cirrus. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Das war unser Livestream von Cirrus. Wir sehen uns morgen um 11:15 Uhr oder um 13:15 Uhr. Da sind wir wieder live. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen.